stocks and the recovery of 485 million naira worth of crude oil in the South-South. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, disclosed this in Abuja on Thursday while briefing journalists on the activities of troops within the period under review. The Defense Headquarters says the military has deployed its special forces to conduct targeted operations across the country as part of renewed response to tackle the menace of insecurity and insurgency, kidnapping, and other security threats. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, disclosed this at a news conference in Abuja on Thursday on the operations of the armed forces. Buba said the military was conscious of the apprehension occasioned by kidnappings, particularly with recent events recorded in the Federal Capital Territory and other areas. Buba added that the military has constantly rejigged its operational strategies to adopt the best course of action that would guarantee success. The federal government, through the Ministry of Interior, has disclosed its readiness to transform citizenship management and business administration in Nigeria. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, on Thursday in Abuja, made this known during the unveiling of a new handbook on citizenship administration in Nigeria. He noted that if the provisions in the document are followed, it would help develop the country. The handbook prescribed conditions for the acquisition of citizenship by foreigners and citizens born outside Nigeria by Nigerian parents, among others. It also prescribed conditions for citizenship by investment, among which is evidence of the required amount for investment pegged at minimum of $1 million United States dollars. The federal government's efforts to attain local vaccine production and reduce dependence on imported vaccine have been significantly boosted with the launch of the National Plan for Vaccine Research and Development and Local Production on Friday. Tunji Alausa, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, while highlighting the anticipated significance of the project in facilitating the operationalization of vaccine development, emphasized that it would provide a blueprint for the entire process of vaccine production within the country. Alausa observed that the national plan was meticulously crafted through an innovative bottom-top methodology, ensuring that the result of the effort would be highly beneficial in complementing the national vaccine policy. During the unveiling of the plan in Abuja on Friday, Alausa revealed that the project was the result of a year-long collaboration between the European Union, the Bulgarian government, and the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development on behalf of the Nigerian government. Governor of Rivers State, Simi Fubara, has said people of the state should expect accelerated growth and development with the legal battles challenging his elections now over. Fubara stated this during a statewide broadcast on Friday morning following the affirmation of his electoral victory by the Supreme Court of Nigeria on Thursday. While expressing gratitude to God for emerging victorious, Fubara dedicated his victory to God and the good people of Rivers State. He reflected that the litigation experience was a torturous journey that had now validated the choice and eventually confirmed the mandate freely given to him by the electorate. The Supreme Court on Friday dismissed an appeal by the former member of the House of Representatives, Farouk Lawan, against the judgment of the lower court which imprisoned him. The Federal Capital Territory High Court had sentenced Lawan to 7 years imprisonment for receiving $500,000 bribe while serving as the chairman of the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating the fuel subsidy fraud in 2012. The trial judge, Angela Otaluka, held that Lawan demanded $3 million and received $500,000 from Femi Otedola in 2012 to remove Otedola's oil company Zenon Oil and Gas from the list of firms indicted for fraud in the fuel subsidy regime. She also held that Lawan was guilty of all 3 counts of corruption and bribery. Not satisfied, Lawan approached the appellate court where his jail term was reduced from 7 to 5 years. Lagos State has mourned the idea of establishing an airline for passenger operations just as the state prepares to commence the construction of its own airport in Lekki. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu disclosed the plan on Thursday at the Lagos West Senatorial District People's Town Hall meeting, where he rendered stewardship and presented a catalogue of achievements recorded by his administration in the district. A statement by the state government noted that a former permanent secretary and retired auditor general for local government in Lagos, Mohammed Hassan, noted that the state was ripe to own an airline. In his response, Sanwo-Olu noted that the plan had been in the pipeline for months, with the state already finalizing financing mode for the project. What is being considered, the governor said, is the federal government's approval and operational contingency for the airline. The Nigerian Customs Service Tinkan Island Command said it intercepted cocaine, arms and ammunition worth 4.3 billion naira. The Comptroller General of the Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, disclosed this while addressing journalists during the handing over of the seized contraband at the command on Thursday. Adeniyi said that the seized contraband came from South Africa and Canada. He added that the command also intercepted Colorado indica weighing 32.5 kilograms. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have demanded to see the death certificate of a former director of Legal, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Grace Tega. Tega's lawyers, Daniel Alumon, had on November 4, 2023, informed the Federal Capital Territory High Court that his client had died. Tega is standing trial before Justice Olukayode Adeniyi on allegations bordering on bribery in the controversial gas supply processing agreement between Process and Industrial Development and the Federal Government of Nigeria. The EFCC claimed that she violated various laws by entering into agreement without the approval of the Federal Executive Council and without obtaining certificate of no objection to the contract from the Bureau of Public Enterprise. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, says the recent publication claiming that paracetamol drugs in Nigeria are underdosed is fake. The Director General of NAFDAC, Mojisola Adeyeye, has stated in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria on Thursday that there is nothing wrong with the paracetamol and that the publication is fake. Adeyeye said that the publication was a disservice to Nigeria, adding that academic publications need to be more responsive to issues of public health. A 2023 study with samples from 5 paracetamol brands claiming to contain 500 mg paracetamol as its active ingredient were said to have been tested and analyzed using the strophotometric method. Adeyeye, however, said that findings have shown that the said publication has been retracted. The NAFDAC boss, who cautioned against playing on the intelligence of Nigerians, enjoined all Nigerians to use paracetamol. Chairman CEO of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, and the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, have commended the synergy between the two law enforcement agencies, saying the collaboration is a strong warning to drug cartels that they will continue to lose their investment in the criminal trade. The duo spoke at the Tinkan Seaport in Lagos, when the customs CJ led his team to hand over illicit drugs seized during a joint examination by NDLEA, customs, and other security agencies of containers the anti-narcotic agency had been tracking based on credible intelligence from international partners. In his remark, Marwa, who was represented by the agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, said the handing over of seized illicit drugs is a development that speaks volume about the diligence of security agencies tasked with securing the country. The Police Service Commission (PSC) has approved the appointment of new officers and the promotion of 1,897 senior officers to their next substantive ranks. The head of press and public relations of the Commission, Ikechukwu Ani, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. He said the Commission approved the appointment of Dasuki Galadenchi, the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 12 Bauchi, as a Deputy Inspector General of Police to represent the Northwest geopolitical zone of the country. The Commission promoted 14 Commissioners of Police to the rank of Assistant Inspectors General of Police, 21 Deputy Commissioners of Police to Commissioners of Police, Assistant Commissioners to Police to Deputy Commissioners of Police, and 109 Chief Superintendent of Police to Assistant Commissioners of Police. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says all is set for the Akoko North-East and Akoko North-West Federal Constituency election scheduled for February 3rd in Ondo State. The State Resident Electoral Commissioner Olutoyin Babalola said in Akure that non-sensitive materials had been received from INEC headquarters and sent to 2 local government areas. Babalola, who spoke on the sideline of a 2-day training for supervisory presiding officers at the INEC office in Akure, said that adequate number of bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS machines had been configured for the election to hold in 329 polling units. You're watching News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Express returns, FG calls for strict regulation of tobacco industry. The news continues shortly with details of these and more right after this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. If you're just joining us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Express. Thank you for staying with us. On the foreign scene, China's Vice Foreign Minister met with his North Korean counterpart in Pyongyang on Friday, with the nuclear-armed state accelerating its weapon testing and threats towards Seoul in recent months. Beijing is North Korea's biggest economic benefactor and a traditional ally, and leader Kim Jong-un has sought to shore up his country's relationship with China while intensifying his aggressive rhetoric towards the South. The weapons test and Kim's designation of Seoul earlier this month as the North's principal enemy have raised tensions in the region and led South Korea President Yoon Suk Yeol to pull closer to long-standing ally Washington. The United States has also warned of a growing and dangerous military ties between Pyongyang and Moscow and called on Beijing to restrain the North. The southern U.S. state of Alabama on Thursday put to death a convicted murderer using nitrogen, the first time the controversial method criticized by human rights advocates has been used in the country. Kenneth Eugene Smith was pronounced dead at 8:25 p.m. according to State Attorney General Smith. Smith, who is 58, was on death row for more than 3 decades after being convicted of the 1988 murder for hire of a pastor's wife. He was put to death at the Holman prison in Atmore, Alabama by nitrogen hypoxia, which involved pumping nitrogen gas into the face mask, causing him to suffocate. The International Court of Justice will Friday rule on provisional requests from South Africa in the case accusing Israel of genocide in South Africa. Both countries presented the argument at the ICJ on 10th and 11th January, where South Africa's lawyers said Israel and its agencies are intentional about wiping out entire families in Gaza. Responding to South Africa, Israel said it was acting in self-defense and blamed Hamas for the woes of people in the Gaza Strip. South Africa also requested the court to approve provisional measures to protect against further severe and irreparable harm to the rights of the Palestinian people under the Genocide Convention. King Charles III was on Friday admitted to a London hospital for scheduled surgery, Buckingham Palace said, a week after revealing the British monarch would be treated for an enlarged prostate. The king was this morning admitted to a London hospital for a scheduled treatment. The palace added, noting that he thanked all those who have sent their good wishes over the past week. Let's turn to business, where the federal government on Thursday restated its commitment to enhance Nigeria's participation in the global technology trade over the next 4 years. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, stated this at the closing of the 11th meeting of the National Council on Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, held at the Coronation Hall, Government House, Kano. He said the primary goal of the present administration under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu is to enhance Nigeria's participation in the global technology trade over the next 4 years. The federal government has stated that the need to ensure strict regulation of tobacco industry in accordance with the country's legislation and global best practices. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pate, disclosed this recently in Lagos at a formal launch of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission Tobacco Control Advocacy. The campaign tagged Don't Burn Their Future. Pate was represented at the event by the chairman of the Tobacco Control Unit, Federal Ministry of Health, Dr. Malu Toma, noted that for every $1 a country gains from tobacco, $3 more was expended on the healthcare costs as a result of ill health and effects. The minister explained that tobacco harms national economies, sustainable development, and environment, as well as reinforces, recycle, and perpetuates poverty through several generations, especially among low-income earners who invested their monies to service their tobacco addiction. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has constructed a 150 million litre storage facility for the Port Harcourt refining company ahead of full operations of the plant. The company stated on Wednesday that it was the storage facility that was constructed in Atlas Cove, adding that the company had signed build, operate and transfer agreement for the rehabilitation of the pipelines and storage facility nationwide. The National Oil Company revealed that its retail arm distributed about 14 billion liters of white product in 2023. The company further stated that an aviation arm had been created that would supply fuel to 3 international carriers, adding that more airlines would be served in due course. And that's how we call it a wrap on the News Express. I am Anthony Momodi saying thank you for watching and see you later.